This conference will now be recorded.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Comments. Don't see anything in the chat box. There's nobody out in the hall, so we'll move on to payday and administrative business.
Okay.
Unless we want to go over the.
Well,
the
I was
email
just
that
going to
you
do
did.
that as part of admin.
Okay.
We did have just a quick little COVID update from Deidre, and which was emailed out.
It looks like we have 9 cases, active cases. What else? Closed it up.
Okay, yeah, it just says we've had a total of 74, 58 confirmed positive, 16 probable. There are 9 active right now, and 0 hospitalizations. So
I still have people asking me if there was some way that a report could be made by zip code. And, you know, Deidre let us know that if our county council approved that, she would do that.
Well, I was on board with that idea until I stopped and I thought about it a little bit, because just thinking about from the businesses and the zip codes, and if I was planning on going to Marion one day to buy something, and then Marion pops up zip code, would I be more inclined to go to Marion, or would I go to McPherson? You know, where I don't know what the case count is, or it may not be as safe, but I've got a mixed feeling about that one, where I don't want to cause any more undue stress than this thing has already created. That's just where I stand on it now.
I'm good with it either way, but just bringing up the issue, since I've heard several times.
How many percent of our public does what you said though, Jonah?
I don't know.
It goes online to see where it's at,
Yeah,
and I know I can't be a participant of that because I don't do enough online. But I'm just wondering, in the online people, how many people do?
Right. And I would hate for it to have an adverse effect.
And the dashboard has helped, because I don't know how many people I've had say, we've got 75, we've got 76 cases in the county, and they still don't understand that has been since the very get-go.
Day one.
But, you know, that's what's reported.
Right. Go ahead. I don't know.
Okay. Other counties are testing for COVID for the teachers being free and things like that. I think maybe we need to send a directive or just ask, maybe see what it costs, can Marion County do something for our teachers? Can we do something for the nursing homes? I've got a constituent in my area asking that question, and I don't know if Deidre's planning on being on here today.
I assumed not, but I probably shouldn't assume, but
Yeah.
since the email came.
But I just wonder, for testing and things like that, also, if we have a lot of stuff for COVID and it's not being used, sitting in storage, I'd like to know what we have.
Right.
I'd like to see what we have, know what we have. If any of it's for testing, if we've got it, why not use it?
Well, I think we need to have a report of the inventory
Yeah. I know that
on an ongoing basis.
Dave has spent more time with the Spark team than I have.
Yeah. Deidre has ordered 1,000 tests to be used through the Tabor College
Testing center.
testing center
So,
for the county. And they're running around $20 to test. I don't know what Tabor's gonna charge.
Okay.
And I don't know how. Right now, if you wanna get tested, you have to get a referral from your doctor if you're not sick.
Okay.
And I don't know if the doctors are referring them to Tabor or going, taking to,
well, yeah, typically the doctor referral's gonna go to the lab testing.
yeah. I took 3 cases Friday from Hillsborough. So they did, I think Tabor test is to see if you might have it. If it comes up positive, then you get a better test. The way I understand it.
But this is the swab testing that you're talking about?
It's the rapid 15.
Rapid, in 15 minutes you can find out
Oh, okay.
positive, negative. That's where all the Tabor students went through. And the county with the Sparks money, the county has about 1,000,
Additional test
Yes,
kits,
yes.
the samplers.
and they don't expire either. So
Okay.
you don't have to use them in 6 weeks.
That's Tabor. Now what about our nursing homes and stuff here that, in Marion County that people still hasn't seen their family in 4 or 5 months, or more?
It's that way everywhere,
Right. Yeah. But
nationwide.
Just saying.
Yeah.
But, is there something we should do?
Right, well, I agree. I mean, if you could take a rapid test and then go in and see your family,
Yeah.
I mean, let's
That'd be
start a
the-
trend.
Just,
I know we gotta listen to what KDADS puts out, because they're actually the governing authority for nursing homes in Kansas, but I mean, why not? Why not entertain the idea?
somebody's gotta start it somewhere.
Mhm.
And, I have no problem with asking and seeing what kind of answer I get.
Right.
You know, just food for thought.
I don't see either one on here, so it's something, yeah, needs to be taken up and asked of Sparks and see if we can have some of the money shifted if it needs to be shifted in our.
Our teachers here in our county, why, you know, they're doing it in Wichita, Sedgwick County. I don't know who's paying the bills yet. Maybe I need to research that a little bit. But, you know, teachers are,
So the schools aren't
The
doing
school-
any
we're just
testing.
now kicking out.
Right,
So the schools aren't doing any testing.
that I know of. I mean, I think they're doing screenings,
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they're doing the temperature and that sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
But
but the schools also are one of the bigger block items on the Sparks funding. So-
Right.
So
And is-
they'd have gotten some funds, so I mean, if they
well,
wanted to go that route, they
would the
could.
nursing homes fall under the hospitals too?
They-
As far as Sparks funding? Because, you know, they have to have the PPE and all that also, so I would think they would fall under that.
They don't fall under the hospitals, but I believe they fall under the nonprofit portion.
Some of them do. Some of them fall under nonprofits, because not all of them are nonprofits. Yeah, it's just, it'd be good to find out, and the Sparks team would be the one that would have the answers to it.
But on our supplies and stuff, I'd like to know, what Kent just said, a listing of what we have, what it's for, and, so it's not a mystery.
Right.
Yeah, we just, you know, I hate to get an inventory report, and then we get another inventory report in 60 days, and it's the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We wanna see the stuff being utilized.
Part of that too, and I think some of it is emergency prepared, so if stocks do run low and the hospitals and nursing homes can't get it, our stockpile then could be used, so I wouldn't be too alarmed if some of it is sitting, because it's for emergency preparedness.
You know, I guess most of that would have a fairly long shelf life if it's stored properly.
That's another thing on the report. I'd like to know how long it's good for, because when I went to work for City of Peatland years ago, Why, there was all of the chemical warfare that we'd heard about when we were kids, you know, it was in containers,
Still there.
and hazardous stuff and all of that, and it was sitting, they'd been sitting in a container there for 20 years or so, and since the 63 and 4,
Good-
and I
good
went to work in
container.
'87, so 20-some years had been sitting there just doing, you know, it was so outdated, it looked like relics when you opened that freezers up and see what was there. And I don't want this stuff to be that way either.
Right. So I will try to talk with Peter, Randy, and Rusty and see if we can get some sort of answer for.
Yeah, Randy's in the process of ordering stuff now.
Right. Yeah, he's sent, did he send you guys the same? I think he's got a $44,000 balance on that line item left to spend on PPE, so he's bought some stuff. Pull it up. Alright, so he's got some shelving, he's got wipes, he's got sanitizer kits, hand sanitizers, gloves, N95s, KN95s, so they must not have the vent breather hole. Safety glasses, Opti wipes, surgical masks, level 3, Tyvek, surgical gowns, Make Right regulars, Make Right smalls, and N95s. So he's out of the Sparks fund, it's about $24,985 for that.
Could you tell him when he's reporting to you to report to all of us? I think we all need that
Yeah,
information.
it'd be nice.
Yep.
I don't have that report.
Yeah. And I can share this to Tina, well, and then that way you guys can get it.
Well, I mean, just going forward,
Yeah.
you know, just include all of this so we know what's going on.
I agree.
So anyway, are we done with the COVID portion?
One other point, emergency management. When it comes to COVID-type grants, the way I understand it, those grants would be initiated or applied for under emergency management, from emergency management. I had an issue last week with one of the grants that I'm a little let down with how Randy handled it.
Everyone you mentioned?
Never even got back with me.
I don't know anything about it, so I don't know what you're talking
Well,
about.
and it was a grant that was due last Thursday.
He mentioned it in the meeting.
Oh,
Oh, I
you're
see.
talking about
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Real
broadband.
broadband.
Yes, yes, yes,
Yeah.
okay.
There
I thought you
was-
were talking about COVID.
And I have a little update on that. I thought we might have a memo about it, but we don't. So I had gotten some sort of an email from the, I think it was from the Conservation District to, like a letter of support for that, an email of support for that connectivity grant. So I forwarded it on to
Right.
Randy and also to Lloyd Davies, because in the meeting last week, Randy said Lloyd was working on it.
Yeah.
Well, Lloyd got back with me and just mentioned that he had been looking into it, and all the information that he had was not that it was not just for counties to go apply for, that it's more directed towards internet providers and schools. And so Lloyd did look into it. I think he found out about it a little bit late, but he did look into it. And I said, well, could you just maybe get together and do some sort of a memo to let the board know about that?
Yeah,
And
I'd like to, you know, I had the question, but the question was never answered, so.
Right.
But I took it upon myself to put those links out to TCT, from some of the stuff that I read into it, and I was trying to see, you know, quickly if we could qualify, or, because we only had a few days, so,
Right.
but it did look like it was primarily set up towards businesses.
You know, and I do understand that it's gonna be hard to implement some of these grants and have them done by the end of the year. It's almost impossible, but the worst case scenario, and I even told Randy this, worst case scenario is send the money back. I'd rather have the money and not get it done than to not have had tried.
Yeah. Very true. Well, I think just remind the workers that there's 5 of us sitting up here. We'd like to know what they're doing.
All right. Move on to
Payday?
payday.
Okay, so we have the sales tax, 69,256.56.
Puts us up on the year at $8,800.
Yes, and I haven't checked that formula to make sure it's all calculated
Okay.
correctly, but.
So what would you contribute, I'm asking the board, the bump in the sales tax over the last 2-3 months, what would you contribute the majority of that to? Would you think the COVID and people shopping
I
locally?
think a lot of people are shopping locally that
There's
maybe went to Walmart or something before.
There's another thing there too. I mean, online sales. I don't know how quick that was supposed to kick in, but sales tax was supposed to be applied locally. So if you buy online, they were supposed to be kicking that money back to us. So I don't know if that's in effect yet or not, but I think it
A
is.
lot of places that we deal with are collecting.
Yeah. So
That's too
I
bad.
know a
I
lot of
was-
people have relied on Amazon.
well, yeah. Well, I mean, it
I'm
balances
learning.
it balances the
Pretty good.
scale so that you're not just getting sales tax from your local
Right.
businesses. You're actually getting it from those bigger conglomerates too.
I've been looking to see when we're gonna start seeing a bump in sales tax because of wind farms, and I'm not seeing it yet. Maybe
Well,
someday.
What do you mean?
There is,
So-
what was it, 2018?
Yeah, that would have been when you were having construction here and people were in the
In the
area,
county.
Mhm.
yeah, from out of town.
And that's a short-lived bump, but.
But it is a bump. It is.
It is a bump for a short period of time, yes.
Okay, we ready to move on to payday, or do you still have more?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. We have the grand total payday, 1,877,011.04.
We've got to, I guess I will make a motion to approve Western Associates vouchers of $833.30.
Second.
Second by Kent. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those abstaining? All those opposed?
Aye.
3, 1 abstention, 1 opposed.
I'll go ahead and make a motion to pay the voucher on Elcon for park electric repair, $158.42.
Second.
Got a motion by Kent, second by Randy. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those abstaining? Aye. All those opposed?
Aye.
3, 4, 1
Okay.
abstaining, 1 opposed.
All right.
All right, now,
And we have your warrant register.
go ahead. On the grand total payday, I'll make a motion to approve.
Got a couple questions.
Oh, okay. Let's go ahead. Let's have that discussion first then.
How many more payments do we have left on the windows?
Oh, I would have to check that.
I was wondering if that was coming off next year.
Soon, I think it might be next year,
That'd be good.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess on the other one, that jail dispatch upgrade, I guess that's been a number of months ago. He talked to us about that.
Yeah.
Had to think for a minute, when it's probably been maybe 6 months ago.
Could have been. Yeah, it's been a while.
So that's not really a 911 upgrade. That was all prior, wasn't it?
Not only be different track than you can here. I was thinking when we was talking about spending the rest of that for like the dispatch, stuff like that. Is that where you're at?
Yeah, I just, I saw the billing on that for the dispatch upgrade. And I was trying to think back to when we were discussing that. It may have been prior to you guys.
Yeah,
I think it was.
Could have been.
I remember talking about it.
programming,
Yeah.
Well, getting everything, I don't know, we just have to get a report, whether Rob's been off and hasn't,
Well, he's been limited
Yeah,
under that.
right. What was the total, I don't remember.
48 something, it's on page 25.
Do you have any account billing for that?
Yeah, I can bring it to you.
See if it tells us any more than what we've done.
Yeah.
I wanna say that was all on the control part of it and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. I was just trying to remember back, and I think it was prior to you guys even being on.
yeah, I don't remember anything.
So we were talking about toward the end of last year when he was talking to us about that.
I think it was worth it.
We've been on since
We've been here.
November, since
Listing-
right after
well,
the
we were
election.
listing 6
It
months
must have been
before.
last fall, sometime.
I sat a lot out here, so I mean, I vaguely,
You vaguely remember?
yeah, but I just.
It was last fall sometime, pretty sure.
I'm trying to remember if anything was popped up during, budget time, if anything was said then.
I'm just hoping that all of these upgrades are not short-term, because we've spent a lot of money.
You gotta upgrade every year computers.
Well, this is a different, this whole dispatch upgrade.
This would have been a GPS on it and stuff like that.
They've got that, they've got some of that.
Is this cameras and door controllers and?
Yeah.
Yeah, just like that, just right above it there, I don't even know what, control chairs, I don't know what that is. It's not the electric chair, I'm sure.
Yeah. Hope not.
Was that out of, that says tax?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just trying to clarify my mind on that, because I remember the discussion on it, but it's been way back.
These two clipped, invoices were paid from the jail sales tax.
Jail sales tax.
Right, so,
That's, okay, that's.
yeah.
Oh, but this one is just the, or are you looking at,
That's.
hold on, sorry, you're not looking at that one.
It's on page 25, the TBS electronics.
That's why
Oh,
it
yeah,
wasn't,
it's here too, there's 3 of them.
that's why it wasn't in the budget, and that's why it
Right,
wasn't,
right.
paid back, because that's some of that money that's left.
And so I have a question, if I can, 2 questions. I noticed that the list of the election workers are here, quite a list, and that's fine. We have a lot of stuff to do on the election. But I noticed that there's 2 people, Patricia and, I think I'm saying this right, Nystrom and Terry Nystrom, they got considerably more money than the others. Did they work more often, or?
Yes.
Right out here in the hall.
What was it, okay, so.
They were early, they did the majority of the early voting.
Okay. And then secondly, I just wanted to, I brought this up a long time ago, but I tell you, these legal fees from Pat Hughes just is disturbing. I really think that they need to come out of planning and zoning's budget, because this is directly affiliated to planning and zoning. This is work that is done for planning and zoning. And these bills are just completely out of control, I think out of control. And then I also know that a long time ago, we were told that Pat Hughes reduced his hourly rate for us. Well, I see he's still at $275 an hour, which is not a reduction. It's been $275 for a long time. But I just think, and then you also have the $2,350 from Russ Avey for professional consulting services. I mean, in a month's time, and this is just for July, that's a hell of a lot of consulting. I just think we need to watch this because it's almost, this is a little higher month than normal. Usually it's $3,000 and $4,000 a month. That's a lot of money for one department on legal services, and I'm just saying we need to probably keep a little bit of an eyeball on that. And that's my questions. One other one, what is, in the weed department, when you have weed cost share, how does that work? Does anybody on the board know? How does that work, Randy?
Isn't that where you have it here, portion of it paid just to get it done, and you kind of give them?
We buy it and that's the cost sharing when they come in, that's why they can get it at a reasonable price.
We sell it at a reduced price.
Reduced price.
So the cost
That's
share,
not
on
correct.
the weed department, they can either buy it from us, or they can go buy it from a dealer, and that's what the
Oh.
cost share is.
Where they go.
The commission approves
certificates.
that cost share program in a certain amount, and then, I don't remember what the amount is for this year, but then instead of coming to buy it from us, if it's not convenient, they can go buy it from a dealer, and then the county pays it through a cost share.
Those first three.
Okay, I didn't know that, but I knew a lot of people that had bought the weed, the chemicals, and their name is not listed here, and I didn't know why.
Yeah, that's because they bought it directly from the weed department,
Right.
and this person bought it from a dealer. And so
Interesting.
we have a cost share program.
Okay.
They can go to your co-op and do that. Some people do that too, they go to the co-op cost
Okay,
share.
okay. That's all the questions I have.
You guys, good on the jail?
And on the legal bills, some of those bills are charged to planning and zoning if they hire them, but the commission hired Pat Hughes this time, and those fees were paid from
They were
courthouse, not out of commission budget, but out of the courthouse county general budget.
Yeah, this particular one, as I was talking about, it does say that it's for the Nell, not any other, so that's, I assume, what we hired him to do. But the other ones also are not what we hired, it's just consulting and stuff, so I'm still saying we need to keep an eye on it. And I also noticed on some of the itemized deals, there's a lot of stuff going on. Now, we hired him to do a Nell a long time ago. It's been like 2 months or so. It's been a long time. These are July bills, so we're still gonna have August coming forth on a Nell. And Randy, you had made a comment when I was going back and looking at some of the videos, and you made a comment of something about the people up north are happy and you don't hear any complaints or anything. I will tell you that's because they have no idea what's going on. They have no idea we're paying these types of legal fees. They don't know. All they know is mean old stinking county is screwing an L. That's all they know. And it's only because they're not getting the correct information and the facts out. And so, I mean, it's a bad deal there. I wish they would know the truth. Because they don't know that an L has not fulfilled their obligation with the road. They have no idea. They don't know. They don't know that it's costing us this extra money. They don't know. And so.
My comment about that was that the public up there is not unhappy with anything up there. They're not coming down here and saying, sitting here and arguing and that. Now, when you talk about a specific item where we're trying to settle with an L, there's not very many people that knows what we're trying to do. I agree with that. But my comment was the general public up there is happy with it, and that's why I made that comment. Because they're not sitting, when I'm up there, I don't hear we're not hearing the negativity that we, so.
And that one up there was the first rodeo, and people didn't even know what they were getting into. And the people who are unhappy are you know, they're just not the type of people to, they didn't sue, they didn't do that type of stuff, that's true, they just kind of accepted it over a period of time. But there are a lot of unhappy people, but they're just not gonna yell and scream and carry on, but it is what it is. Did anybody notice that there is a wind turbine up there that I don't know if it caught fire or got struck by lightning or what, but the tip of it is all black and the wires are hanging out and.
It lost a tip.
Huh?
If I understand, if that's the one you're talking about, a tip came off of one.
Well, the tip is there, but it's brown, but then there's another one that it actually, and that's on the other side of Highway 15 where the cone fell off. So the cone's gone. Now, I didn't go out and take a picture of that one yet, but I was told to come out and take a picture because the cone fell. I don't know what the cone is. I think it's probably that pointy thing.
Well,
but
that covers up
I
where
would
the
think,
blades
but it
attach.
fell off. And I don't know if falling off is important. Just go back up there and stick it back on, I guess. I don't know, but yeah. But no, this one has, I do have a picture of it. I'll show the commission if they want to see it. But it's black on the end, comes to a straight, so maybe something fell off, I don't know. But then there are wires sticking out. And it's been like that now for, I don't know, a week or more. So, but just interesting. I don't know what happened.
And those legal fees that were paid for the Unknown project, they are actually paid out of the wind farm account line item and potentially to be reimbursed, hopefully, at some point.
Okay. Well, good, I'm glad you're on that. Because we have been taking a lot of legal fees for these wind farms over the course of the years.
Yep, and for the lawsuits assisted.
Yeah.
Well, that's the insurance is covering right now, so.
Well, we have legal fees too,
Right.
they don't cover the whole thing.
Well,
We
I
have to pay
understand that, but
big
the
portion
majority
of
of
it.
it. Well,
So
actually,
there's a
Pat
pretty big
Pelster is
bill
paying
there.
the majority of it.
Mhm.
Appreciate that.
All right, we'll move on.
Okay, so total,
Let's
grand
go
total
ahead.
payday? Any other?
Yeah, I'm assuming there's nothing else with,
Yeah.
all right. I'll make a motion to approve the grand total payday at $1,877,011.04. Second by Randy. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Okay, just letting you know, I was made aware a few minutes ago that we had an insurance issue on payroll, and so we are working on a correction for that, which will actually reduce the payroll slightly, so we'll have that as a separate. That was just somebody that was there last day and we withheld an insurance premium that shouldn't have been withheld, so we're gonna go ahead and bring that to you for approval.
Okay.
So
As
it'll
a
just,
separate.
it'll be separate, but
Okay.
it'll actually reduce the overall total slightly, so. In your packet, you had an email from Judge Powers that was to me, he just wanted you all to be aware they're putting some sneeze guards up in the jury box. And we are going to try to apply for SPRQ funding, even though we already had submitted our plan. And if they won't approve it, then it will have to come out of their budget, which may make them over. They are in the general fund, so they won't truly be over, but just for your information.
Sneeze guards can't apply as PPE.
No, they're eligible under SPRQ. It's just a matter of they didn't request it before the plan was in place. But there are some other things that we're gonna need to spend on it. So the plan will have to be adjusted slightly. But that's just for your information.
Top of that.
Okay. In your packet, you also had a community development grant form that was signed after the meeting last week, and so that SCED could go ahead and process a grant for this business that had complied. They just had not complied, provide all their information before the meeting. So that one was for Hike Enterprises. So Jonah came in and signed that and was submitted so that we could request payment for that. So just included it in the packet so that you're all aware. We do have supplements. Yeah.
Semis on our roofs.
That's good. Just for buying things. Got the minutes for August 24th. Everybody had a chance to review the minutes. Questions, concerns, corrections?
I make a motion to approve the August 24th minutes as written.
I'll
Motion
second.
by Kent, second by Dave. All those in favor?
Aye.
Awesome.
Okay, when you all approved the budget on Monday, I did not have you go ahead and take action on the judicial district budgets or the conservation district budget, and they have to have an official approval of theirs to submit back. And so I did include those copies again in your packets. So the judicial district has 3 separate budgets, and we just need official approval. I'm trying to look at this to see. Because the chairman has to sign off on these.
Where the share was. was in here, he laid out, almost a while back, but he laid out that not to pay attention to the bottom lines, it's, can't remember where it was.
Right, there was the joint district budget, which is the large one. That's not all coming from us, obviously. And then there's the county budget, which is the, oh, and then it shows on this, I'm sorry, it shows on the one page what the, so on this budget that's split, it shows Marion County's share of that particular one. And then the one that's the 197,499 is the actual county allocation for the budget. So this,
Yeah, there it is.
this 197,499.
It's in the comments.
Yeah, that one is ours, and then the other one is split. And then the other one is the last one, which is large, is the entire district budget, so. The one that really affects us is the 197.
So 197.
197,499. Okay, that's the county, our county location, and that second one is a shared. And then the third one is the entire judicial district.
Anybody need to see that? Yeah.
And really, if you're okay with what they've requested, you just need to approve the budget allocation requests as presented. And then Jonah needs to sign it.
Make that motion to approve the annual budget for the court system, general fund budget, 197 for our share, 197,499.
Second. Second by Ken. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 5-0. Now we have to do this one though too, right? Or does that encompass all this? No.
If you just make a motion to approve their allocation as requested, it covers everything. You know,
Like to-
Randy made his pretty specific to the county portion, so. But you don't really have authority to change any of the others, so the county portion is all that,
For my blessing.
yeah. You're not looking for any changes on any of the others, correct? Okay.
If you ever want to, I think you have to start that process before they get to this point.
Right.
If you want to change something.
So since there was no motion for these two, I need a motion. I would think so, since he specifically laid out the dollar amount on that one.
Yeah, I would just maybe make a motion to approve the overall allocation request.
I would make a motion to approve the overall allocation request.
I'll second it.
Second by Dave. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, and this one's a little easier because it's only one. This is for the Marion County Conservation District, and the amount that they are requesting is the 20, as a county allocation. Let me see if I can get it on the screen. Is the 39,500, which is an increase over last year. Last year they requested 36,425. So at this time, I mean, if you're not going to approve the full amount, you would need to take a different action, or take action to approve the amount that they requested.
So we can approve, make a motion to approve the whole 89,035.94.
No.
30, no,
39,500.
the only portion that's ours
Yeah.
on this one is
Right.
the 39,500.
But if we do it like we did the other one, we can make a motion to approve the whole 89. I've got the 39 here in front of me.
Yeah.
But if we do it like the other one,
No, this is a district, so they're, not the whole
This is
89
just-
would be us.
right.
But, yeah, I guess I see where he's coming from. If you're okay with the overall from everybody, then our portion would be included in there.
Yeah. Same thing we did last time.
I'd like to make that motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the 89,035.94, which includes the county's portion of 39,500.
I'll second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
5-0.
Yeah, if you just sign it on.
2 places.
Yeah.
Just double check.
Oh, you don't need to sign the bottom. That's for the conservation, the Division of Conservation, I think.
And the budget, yeah.
Yeah, so you just sign the top. Thank you. Do you have an application for a youth and disabled special hunt? And so the applicant has filled out all the appropriate paperwork. You just need to make a motion to approve the individual to do the hunt and to sign their card.
All right. Make a motion to approve the,
This is out of state.
no,
This is on the landfill, the old landfill. The county
Landfill.
allows youth and disabled to do some special hunting opportunities out there.
yeah. I'll make a motion to approve, I don't know if I'll call his name out.
It's okay to say.
Okay. Clayton Jans, for youth hunt, sportsman card.
Second.
Second by Randy. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Sign the landowner.
Yes.
We've had quite a few people enjoy that out there, I mean, and use it. I know one wheelchair victim has used it for quite a few years since we've done
Glad it can be used for something
Something.
other than a super site.
that. Yeah. Yeah.
That's all that I have.
Thank you. Pretty lengthy today.
Sorry about that.
It's all right. Let's get it done.
I didn't think it needed to be, but.
No, there were some other things thrown in the mix there. All right, so I'm done with this. All right, is Bryce on?
And Vicky called and said that Bryce is not gonna make it up today. So
Okay.
we do have the area.
Aerial
field
field
there.
bids. And unless somebody tells me I'm wrong, it looks like area 1, 2, and 3 are all EPS service low bid.
That's the way I looked at it too.
Okay, if that's the case, I'll make a motion to approve areas 1, 2, and 3 for EPS service.
Second.
Second, Ken? For a total amount of $7,488, just so everybody's aware. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
5-0.
Okay.
All right, Bryce isn't here, on to Isaac, he's sitting out there patiently.
Isaac.
Good morning.
Okay, I just had a few things this morning that I wanted to run by the commission. The first of which is our chili cook-off, which is scheduled as of now for October 3rd. I just wanted to come in, we were getting ready to do some posters and advertising and stuff for the event. And I just wanted to come and make sure that we are okay to do this with all the COVID stuff going on. And if so, to see if the commission would have any, guidelines or restrictions that they would like to see followed out there for the event. But that was the first thing. I just wanted to kind of check with you guys to see if it was okay for us to move forward with having this.
My feeling.
I don't have an issue with it.
What date you doing this?
Follow the normal
What
guidelines.
date?
It's, I believe, Saturday, October 3rd. The first Saturday in October, I think that's the date, is the 3rd.
They can't just set it, just follow the normal guidelines, and
Okay.
if it takes some extra precautions to do something, why, if we have to help a little bit in some of the extra precautions, let us know how we can help.
Okay.
When we serve food anyway, you gotta have gloves and stuff.
Yeah,
So,
masks and things,
Okay, and then my other thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about was the heated dock. I met with Ben here this past Tuesday. The only thing that's been done since the last time that we've met is that framework that he had completed was now painted. I talked to him. He said that he's getting a crew together to come and get the old dock out. And he also told me that that float company that had been closed was starting to open back out. I don't know. I guess I'm kind of disappointed in the lack of progress since this job has started. I understand, and Ben's big thing is that this COVID has caused a lot of complications. It's still, I feel like it's been 8 months since he got the bid. The old dock is still there. He's got half the money.
well, I think the bid was approved before, pre-COVID.
Yeah, it was back in December.
The order should have been placed.
Correct. And I guess that I've talked, he answers all my phone calls, we talk back and forth about every single week. I just don't know what else I can really say to him to get him going, to get this project moving forward. During the summer months, it's not that big of a deal. There's not a lot of use out of it, but it's also been the best window to see progress, I guess, for him to work on the dock. So I'm a little, I'd say, frustrated with the lack of movement on the project. But yeah, I guess I just wanted to come tell you guys, he does have the framework done, it is painted, but that's about where it ends at the moment as far as progress goes.
And refresh me in that contract with that, half of that being paid. When's the next time that he can bill us? I mean, what did we approve of?
According to the bid, it was half upon starting and then the other half upon completion of the project.
Okay.
Yes, that is what the bid says.
At this point, can we put a deadline on it? I mean, legally, can we put a deadline on it?
I wrote down a note to ask Brad on a liquidated damages type question. I mean, something's gotta.
And I believe, and you might know too, Tina, I believe speaking with James with K-Camp originally, for the insurance part of it, it was 2 years for completion of the project. That was from the insurance company. As far as the county, I don't think we set anything on that during our original discussions, but I do think for insurance, it was 2 years for completion.
I wonder if it would help for him to have a call from a designee of the commission, if you all designate a commissioner the chairman or someone else to call him and ask for a progress update, or ask him to come report to the full board of when he would be done.
I would be glad to go down there personally, face to face.
I'd like to see Dave take the head on that one.
It's
All
not
in.
much taller than
Key tie, yeah, and I,
We need a report.
that. Well, I'd like the phone number to the guy in Florida so I could talk to him, see if he's a real person.
So,
Does that make sense?
I mean, that's one option if you wanted to.
Well, I think we need to do something because
I'd be
we
glad
need to have that
go
thing,
this
we
week.
need to have that thing out there in November.
yeah, well, and that's kind of the thing, and you know, this time of year is when people really want to start using it. Once it starts cooling down, they can get somewhere inside, and you know, I'm sure you guys have had it too, but I have people 3 or 4 usually a day come into my office asking about it. And like I said, I mean, Ben, he's real responsive. He'll answer my phone calls and he'll explain everything, you know. It's just, it seems like something is keeping him from actually moving forward.
I'd like to designate Dave as
I could go Wednesday,
representative of the board to assist Isaac
give him the
and
information. You can
Yeah,
go,
yeah.
you can go with me too.
Okay.
Okay, I'm one step here, whether behind or ahead, I don't know which here, but
Mhm.
we've got X amount of money out here, and we don't have a deadline, and we're concerned, and so maybe with the first round, we do that, but like you're saying, you'd like to talk to the person, do we have a proof? I mean, he can put the blame on the float company.
Yeah.
But we'd like to have proof, and I agree with that, Dave. I mean, that's something that I think we'd like to see, that there's justification from the float company, and if we can't get that, why, then where are we at? So that's, I mean, you've done what you can, Isaac, and I think if we need, Dave does this first thing, then,
My concern is whether he can even complete it.
yeah.
I mean, there's more than one float company in this country.
Yeah.
And that's
And
been kind
my
of, that's
hang up.
been, yeah.
There's a big red flag there when he says, oh, I can only do business with this company. That's not, I'm sorry.
And I've spoke to other float companies in both Arkansas and Florida that have been open for a while, and that's kind of where my concern was
So
brought
we
up.
need the
yes.
specs of what he ordered, so we can order, take it off the bid, off the back end of it.
We're gonna have to do something, but we need to find out whether he's even gonna, if he's in a position to even complete it.
Yeah, I think we're probably, that's kind of.
I mean, yeah.
And
That's my
maybe-
first issue.
Maybe designate a timeline that you're willing to work with, otherwise it'll be going over for legal action.
I think that it needs to be completed and ready to be used by November. That's not much time. I don't know if that's November 1, I don't know if that's November 15th,
Or
but,
31st, or 30th.
yeah. But this has gone on way too long.
Agreed.
I mean, just on the up and up, he should have
Well,
said, I've got some issues, or whatever's going on here. But the blame's been going on the float company forever, and I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but there's more than a float company.
yeah.
everybody all right with Dave? being-
Yeah, I have no problem. I just think you've got the backing of the board here. We need to let him know that the board's upset.
Yeah.
And we'd really like to see some progress, or move towards another float company if this is not happening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Might as well let them know, then I'm ask the attorney if we can do liquidated damages or something, so if another float company is a little bit higher, more expensive,
It's not our problem.
it doesn't really matter, because you're gonna get stuck with liquidated damages.
We're taking off his end of the contract.
So, anyway,
Thank you, Isaac, for bringing it in, because it does need to stop, need to go.
And that was really it for me. If you guys have any questions?
Any interest in the dock? I see it on eBay, or no, I mean on Craigslist. Not eBay, Craigslist.
Well, and that was a whole nother kind of situation there, because he posted that on there.
Oh, he posted it.
Yes, he,
Yeah, it's.
Because it's his.
Yeah, and he was trying to find somebody and, you know, to come out and try to help him move it.
Well, that's my next red flag, he's
Yeah,
looking
it's
for
typically-
money.
It was, yes,
Not
it
even
was.
his.
Correct. And I brought that up with James with the insurance company, and he said that should not happen. It should be taken down, because I've spoken to Ben about it already.
We could, that's another avenue we could pursue too. I know there was another guy that was interested in removing that dock for a fee. And we could subtract that out of the second payment, just to get that portion
All right.
done.
Yeah, we're gonna do something with it.
Yeah.
So, there's,
I mean,
Have you seen actual pictures of the framework and all that?
I have gone down and seen it,
Okay.
yes, I have.
He's-
And it is complete.
Conceivably,
Yeah.
we may have to go get it.
Right, and that is, it is done. I have gone down there and met with Ben and seen it all for person, and talked to him, and that part of it is done, but that is the extent of the work, is just the framework, that's all that's there.
all right. Hopefully with Dave, make some headway here.
Just get a hold of me and we can come up
Yeah.
with that works for me.
see what you got going on.
Okay.
You got anything else?
That's really it for me.
Thanks, Isaac.
Oh, I
Absolutely,
have
thank
one other
you.
question.
Yes,
And just, you know, for me driving around, I noticed we got some equipment out there, it doesn't look like we ever use it.
as far as
Oh, I saw a tractor with a bush hog and like a sickle mower.
that
Looks
Ford
like it
tractor.
Never been used.
So, our blue tractor, the New Holland, the AC had gone out of it. It is in the road and bridge shop. That Ford tractor that's out there, talking to Gerald, it hadn't been used in about 4 or 5 years. And 2 years ago, we got it back up and running. And we were using that sickle. And the bush hog, our main bush hog, we normally run off of that blue New Holland tractor. And since it's been in the shop, we have another bush hog that we hooked up to that Ford tractor. And just this past, that would have been Thursday, we were out mowing the airport road with that.
Oh, okay. I just thought, you know, if we've got some equipment sitting
Well-
around that we don't use, let's get rid of it.
We got the project about 3/4 of the way done, and antifreeze started leaking and some other issues popped up, and we actually just talked about it, as funny as it is, last week about possibly selling that Ford tractor. The case in the New Holland we use all the time, that Ford one, like you said, it hadn't ran for about 5 years before I came in, and I don't know if it's viable for us to keep it or not. I don't think it is, but it works, and if we really, really need it. It doesn't work for long, it doesn't seem like, but it's also, I don't think it's worth us putting a lot of money into it to try to get it running smoothly.
Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, and the next agenda item had come off.
All right, so we got Gloria.
He didn't cancel or recall or reschedule or anything?
No, he just canceled.
He just canceled?
Okay. Through the list here. Don't see anybody says Gloria, but I do see a guest. Is that potentially?
Gloria, are you on the call yet?
If not, I don't know. We could flip flop Sharon. She was out there in the hall just now.
She was out to Mendigo.
I don't really know what Gloria's gonna have. I know that she was planning on trying to get on around 10:15, and I can check, I can see if we can get in touch with her to get on earlier. You know, we did open up a second round of CDBG funding. We did have just one applicant turn in an application, which we have sent on. And so if, you know, at most, she would probably be able to tell you if this applicant qualifies for the funding. And then I guess we need to know if you want to extend the timeline for the second round, or what you would like to do, because there's still a lot of money sitting
Yeah,
there.
I think we need to extend it.
Who is the other applicant?
The applicant is Affordable Street Rods.
Where are they at?
They're out south of Peabody.
I took an application.
They have a nice building down there.
Yeah. Took an application down to Cafe down there, Peabody. I didn't need to give it back to me, so.
Do you want me to see if she,
I'll
if we can get
definitely
it
turn it
earlier,
back in
or?
or not.
You just wanna
Share it real fast.
I don't know how fast Sharon stuff will be, so I just didn't wanna,
Right. I don't know.
okay,
Yeah, let's just go ahead and start with Sharon. When she pops in here, we'll.
okay. Sharon?
Morning.
Morning.
Breezing right through the meeting today.
Nah, had one cancellation and one's not ready yet, so bumped you up. I'm glad you're sitting there.
Sure. I just have an update. Thursday at our Planning and Zoning BZA meeting, the BZA held a hearing. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Kind of muzzled.
Talk a little louder.
Okay.
You might wanna take that
You can
off,
take
you're
the
close,
mask
you're
off.
not
Yeah.
closer than
Okay.
6 feet.
There you go. There
Okay.
you
The BZA had a hearing last Thursday for an appeal filed by Charles Steinkamp on behalf of one developer, Roger Buller and Stonebridge Investments, against a decision of the zoning administrator. The appeal came after I did not accept construction permit applications from Stonebridge that were submitted in late March, and then revised several times before and on April 1st of 2020, which is the deadline. And consequently, the Doyle 4 CUP has been terminated pursuant to Article 27-106. Stonebridge repeatedly failed to provide proof that they were the Doyle 4 CUP holders, or that they had any official rights to apply for a construction permit within the Doyle 4 area. And so therefore I did not accept their applications. The Doyle 4 Resolution 2014-22 specifically states that it is for an expansion of an existing commercial wind energy system. I interpret that to mean that it's not eligible for a standalone wind energy conversion system. And among other mistakes, Stonebridge attempted to submit an application that mistakenly proposed the turbine to be in a location that was not even covered under the Doyle 4 CUP area. It was a couple hundred feet too far in one direction and didn't fall in the area of the Doyle 4 CUP even. Consequently, the Doyle 4 CUP could not be extended for a WEX facility south of Highway 50 near Florence. The BZA voted unanimously to affirm my decision for the reasons provided in the documents and the information presented at the meeting. So, the BZA is the final determination on those zoning appeals cases. If Stonebridge chooses, they may appeal that decision, and that will go to district court. Are there any questions about that BZA case?
I have a question for you,
Sure.
Sharon. So as I was listening to all of that, and since you have terminated Doyle 4, we already have a CUP that includes Doyle 4. So my question for you is, and even though in the CUP that we have, the CUP that we already have, PC 1901, includes all the Doyle 4. It doesn't break it down to just a portion, the way the
Okay.
resolution is written.
Okay.
It simply says Doyle 4. And so, since it is now terminated, will that affect PC 1901? Because you said Doyle 4 was terminated.
There was a portion of transmission line that was proposed to be part of that PC 1901 CUP. Since the time of approval on that CUP, the commission has made a text amendment to the regulations that no longer requires a CUP for transmission lines. So it's a moot issue, basically. And it wouldn't affect the development of that PC 1901, which is Expedition Wind.
So then I will also expand on that. How does that then relate to the declaration made by the governor, which includes infrastructure, which I interpret as transmission lines? And the way the new declaration is, clearly would encumber that entire area down there and all along 77. How does that play into it then also?
Sure. That would be a good question for an attorney, not for me.
Okay. I have other sources I can go to, but I was wondering because it is kind of it's interesting to see how that's going to play into that.
It's, at this point, it's out of Marion County's jurisdiction.
Okay.
So, since we don't require a CUP on the transmission lines, that's kind of out of Marion County's hands at this point.
Okay, just wanting to know how you thought that was going to play into it, because it is interesting. Okay, thank you.
Sure. Any other questions about that? Okay. The other, I guess the other business was that your board directed Pat Hughes to draft some language concerning Article 19 and Article 27 to help develop more of a mechanism and a process to be able to terminate or invalidate CUPs if they don't abide by the contracts that were signed by both parties. So that language will be considered at our next public hearing, which will be at the end of September.
I was wondering about that too. I wasn't gonna say, yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, because I was wondering when I would see something on that.
Right. Yes, it was brought up at the meeting on Thursday, and then we'll have to publish the public hearing notice in the newspaper and then have the public hearing. And also letters go out to the cities and the townships. So that's all I have. Do you have any other questions for me about the zoning department?
Well, sounds like you're on top of it. So.
Those drafts that you're talking about being made to existing wind farms, that's already been approved, what all is it gonna affect?
Well, it would provide the county with the mechanism to be able to enforce something that's already in place, basically. So it could affect current CUPs, but only if like a contract is breached or if something's not held up on the wind farm's side, I guess.
Would void a CUP per se then?
It could invalidate or terminate. So right now, our zoning regulations say, and I use that very lightly, they say that we can terminate a CUP if, say, the road maintenance agreement isn't upheld, but there's no real process outlined in the regulations. So the language that's being proposed makes it a more clear process and exactly what the county needs to do and what process we need to follow to be able to make that happen if we have to. And this was in response to an existing project.
Thank you.
Good.
Thanks, Sharon.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. They don't seem to jump on, so. I hate to move forward on to the next one after that, so.
That's okay.
Want
Do
to
you-
take a short recess?
Do you happen to need Brad? I had a note from Cherry that he's on his way. I just didn't know if he's gonna get here in time or if you need anything from him today.
Well, the only thing I was gonna bring up was the doc from him.
Okay, so we won't,
If we have any legal
okay.
flex on that sort of thing,
Well, he is on his way.
On what?
on the doc.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, I'll take a short 5-minute recess. Everybody all right with that? Okay.
Yeah, with Gloria, be on.
Yeah. I'm wondering, because the guest left.
Yeah.
Yes, it's gone.
Yeah.
Can you get through there?
Yes.
Or should we take it?
Suck it up like you did last week, buddy.
Well, I'm the one here, but I suck at this. Because I'm up against.
You're fine. See, you struggle
This
with
is the one
one.
task.
No, I'll hang around for public
I was
comments.
up against it.
Yeah, no worries.
All right,
Good to
good.
be here for every bit of what you want.
All right.
It's an open meeting.
I've been here for a while, so
Yeah.
it's about time.
Come back.
Dave, how are you?
Pretty good.
That's good. Yeah. Oh. Jeez, it's broken, too. There we go. Thank you.
I'm enjoying the cool weather.
Yeah, well, there are a couple things.
Pat, good to see you.
Yeah, Ken, good to see you. But, we were on the planning and zoning the other night too, watched that. Thought that was handled very, very well.
Yeah.
You know, they,
Our code, and having people, some on here, some on not.
yep, so. And I thought Randy would be here, but evidently not, so.
Called in this one, said, I don't know what he's gonna talk about.
Okay. Well, understand.
You know what Randy's gonna talk about?
Yes,
Can you share with us?
I'm not gonna speak for Randy.
Okay.
I'll let Randy do his own speaking.
Is he gonna be here next week then, or?
No, I think he was advised not to come in.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's a done deal. I wouldn't waste, yeah, I don't expect.
Just lawyer told
Now,
him
you
that-
never know when it comes to Randy,
Yeah.
Right.
you know, but, when I'll be frank with you, when I seen that he was on the agenda, I called to see what he was wanting. And, I was just bluntly told that he was advised not to come in, so. Period.
There's lawyers that they're talking.
I would guess.
Yeah. But new landlords now in the building,
Oh, really? No, I wasn't.
it's sold.
Oh, it did sell?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Are they gonna kick us out, or?
No, didn't say so on the paper.
You're talking about the one downtown?
Yeah, one
Yeah.
day, yeah.
Yeah, no, we're
Said he was
anxious to get the.
Gonna say till November or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, we got at least, I think, till then, which should work out pretty well, sort of
Yeah.
schedule, so.
Everything is still on. I didn't shut any of the meeting down for the recess, just to let you guys know. I did.
But, so we'll continue to be there for another couple months anyway.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we're moving over to the Marion building, so we should be ready to.
We get any answers?
We have not been able to get in touch with her right now, so.
Is there an application that we just need to approve?
You could approve it if, and then
And then
with
pending.
the stipulation that it meets all the criteria.
That's what I think we ought to do.
Okay.
Move on.
Okay, and I'm trying to see if there was an amount. I haven't looked at everything, so. But the maximum that you had approved is up to 5,000, so if you approve it, you know, at an amount up to 5,000, not to exceed 5,000 pending, review by SCED.
Motion to approve
Affordable street rods.
affordable street rods in the amount of not to exceed $5,000, pending SCED approval.
Second.
Second by Randy. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Is it mechanic or?
5-0.
Hmm.
Is it just mechanic or is it?
No, he's just.
Yeah, I don't know that it needs a signature.
Home
But
shop.
I do need to
Business is
get,
right there,
verify
but
that the
got a
number
lot
of
of internet
employees,
stuff, just
'cause
like you.
to make sure it's
And,
5 or
does a lot
less,
of
otherwise
internet.
the maximum would be.
But 10, right?
The plans for the future, maybe, but a
Let me
phone
just
slot
look at
there.
that real quick. I'm sorry, I was
That's fine.
expecting someone else to do that, so. Yeah,
Double check and make sure they have less than 5 employees,
Think
otherwise,
so.
Yeah.
otherwise the maximum would be 10,000.
It says on here they're applying for 5,
Okay.
so, okay. I think that will give us what we need for Gloria, and
Okay.
then, what would you like to do about the deadline for the second round? Do you wanna,
Maybe extend it.
and if you wanna give me some dates on that?
When's our current deadline now for the second?
Well, the second round deadline was the 28th. That's the deadline you had set for applications to be in.
So you wanna go a full 30, can you go another full 30 days?
I think at this rate, we can go another 60.
No.
It just, we gotta be done by the end of the year though, I think.
Yeah, maybe we should just go 60.
Or should we just put it to the end of the year? Well, we can't put it to the end of the year. We
You
gotta have a
gotta
review
be done in
process.
November.
End of November probably, see, yeah, let's.
Beginning of November?
The end of November.
End of November. Is that a complication now? Looking at Dave.
I think probably November 15th, because
Oh,
they probably
okay.
need to be approved and everything
By-
done.
by then.
Okay.
Yeah, good, good, 15th, yeah.
You see any problems with that?
I don't. If I find out any, I'll let you know at
Yeah.
the next meeting.
Maybe let's just say, can we do that, and then we can do, I mean, we're doing that, and then if there's problems, we'll take care of it next week.
Okay. Make it into a motion?
November 13th
Okay.
is a Friday.
Okay. I'd make the motion to open up for the third round for up until November 13th, and unless there's complications with us doing that for rounds up.
I'll second
Second by Dave. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right.
All right. I'll make sure I didn't forget something along the way.
I'm sorry.
No, that's all right.
We're stuck up a little bit.
Now we'll have our commission transfer station discussion since we adjourned the meeting and couldn't have any decisions. So if there was anything to come up from that.
I heard Mr. Perdue tell us that, yes, we signed it, did all this, but I also know that we asked to be somewhat similar to McPherson County landfill.
Transfer station.
Transfer station, yeah, transfer station.
They have both now.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're both.
And, well, they got one up there.
Yeah, they got a landfill.
But anyway, and he said, well, it was on the paper. Well, yeah, it was. And saying whatever, I didn't realize that the wall was gonna be as short of angle as what it is instead of an angle to the hole. What we see, if he would have seen or been over there, he would have seen that wall angled towards the hole. And if he goes to any other transfer stations, you see that they angle other walls to the hole. I mean, that's just as simple so that the equipment can go in there and get the job done without manpower. And not only McPherson, Newton's has got one too, that's the same thing, it's got angle towards the hole so the machine can push to the hole. So, that's very disappointing to see, and that's why I had everybody go there and see that. And then, on paper again, realizing that even though we saw it on paper, that first door to the closest to the pit is gonna be right smack up and dab against it, even if they centered it in that beam span. And so, allowing us enough room to get an angle with that is gonna be a difficult deal. We have the next door that's gonna be put in phase 3 now, it's coming up. If it's gonna have these jogs over around those posts, I don't see how that the backhoe's gonna just smoothly take care of this trash and move it out of there without having, there'll always be trash in there in these little jogs or whatever,
Yeah.
nooks and crannies. I guess I did talk to Cody before that meeting, like 4 or 5 days before that meeting, and he went to McPherson, saw McPherson's, and I said, wow, he agreed with smooth operation that we have there. And so you could do some planning. You could run some more concrete. If we did move the first hole clear back to the third hole, you could put the concrete in now, and that would be a little bit of a change. You could also make that whole wall down to what you see built already nice and smooth, so there wouldn't be no cracks or crannies to get into and get down here. And so that's something that we could do in phase 3, but it would be a change order, would cost us some money. Just, you know, his idea was, we'll try it and see what you like. Well, when you do that, if you don't, it's gonna cost you a lot more money. But it's where we could do it in phase 3, if I can talk to Cody. But I'd want the board's permission to even make a quick change or something like that, and have it back to us by Monday to see if we could do something in this phase 3 part. So that's my concern.
Be cheaper now than it
Yep.
would be
Yeah.
a year from now.
I was there the other day with Josh, went to McPherson.
Oh,
And
oh.
what I've seen maybe is actually, maybe more simple than, maybe.
Yeah.
So the side that they throw in at McPherson is their flat side. So there is no curved wall on that side. The other side where the trucks come in and dump, that is the curved side that curves over the trucks. Maybe the simplest solution is to have the independent people pick up or drop off on the north side so that it's a straight through push, and then the south side could be more of a steel plate curved wall or something too. Because I noticed that the curve, or the 45 wall was only on their east or west wall. Their east wall didn't have a 45 that I noticed.
In McPherson?
Yeah. It looked like it was all open to the truck.
Did you walk down there to it?
Yeah, we went up inside.
Okay.
But it might have a slight little one,
Yeah.
but I mean, it isn't, nothing like the wall.
There's no 45.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
like the wall that's clear over there. So I was noticing that maybe if we switched around and how people threw in, then we would be more like that.
The only reason we chose the south side to do that, Alan, was because of sun and
Yeah.
north wind, wouldn't have the north wind in the winter time and things like that. So that was,
Yeah.
That's the only
That
thing.
would make a lot of sense. I mean, yeah,
Streets
on the
would
south
be
side.
too.
the what?
The street,
The street, the public would be
Right.
closer to that. And that's why we've come up with that
Right.
so far.
Well, it makes a lot of sense for winter time too. I mean, just the sun's
The
gonna
sun
hit
will
that
melt
side.
it, and winter time it's gonna be icy over there and in the shade of the building.
Right. And I did see while I was there, and it was a big pile that they had over there on that curved wall. So the backhoe was actually going up there and pulling it back.
It was
And then pushing it.
on the west side.
On the west side. And I'm not sure if, they were in between changing trucks.
Yeah.
There was a lot of plastics. So
Okay.
I'm thinking maybe that they had pushed it all over there, stored it for a while so they could get the other trash out, and then they moved trucks, and then he came in, and then he was pulling it back away from that wall. So, but I do see the concept. I mean, if it was the only load there, it would be slick.
No,
But it looked like there was about 4 or 5 loads of plastic stacked up there, so there's no way that track
Could
push
do
it.
that, could do
Yeah.
that, correct, yeah. I can see that, once you back it up, more than just what you're pushing, yes. And I hope our building is big enough that most of our loads we can't compare to what the amount of trash that they take care of.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I hope that most of our loads stay out in the middle, except for where people throw over.
Yeah.
And that's my concern, is to try to make that as easy as we possibly can, and,
I'd like to see more trucks being able to dump at the same time, just so you don't have that line.
oh, I mean, yeah, that should be, we should be able to have 3 trash trucks back in there and dump all at the same time, and eliminate what I saw the other day of 30 minutes of Hillsboro's truck sitting there and they had that arm on it.
you have 2 horse trailers for the trash truck.
Yeah, the horse trailers was there, and that's something, I don't know, Marion County's that's just something that we do in Marion County. I mean, people out here just load their horse trailers and bring it, and then they expect to take it off. And so, we're gonna have to deal with that later, I think, and make some decisions on holding our floor space up and when they do that. But You know, what do you think about the concept of the throwing over and stuff like that? Did you see anybody there do it?
Oh, yeah, there was, all the bays were loaded.
Yeah.
People were throwing stuff over. And then what was neat was the other, well, the C&Ds and the tires
Okay.
and all those, they all had their little sectioned off areas where
Yeah.
the roll-offs. So they were completely different areas.
Yes, yes.
So that those people could get in and out. And there was some well thought out stuff when they built that place.
Mhm.
And then the recycling, the baler and everything that they have up down the south end of that, went through all that.
We just didn't look at that because of the space available.
Oh, yeah.
And just not available for us.
It takes so much manpower too, because you gotta have a guy pushing it in, and you gotta have a couple guys sitting there with the banders ready to watch it come out. So I mean, it's maybe something that we don't really, I could see it, we're trying to cut back and do more tech.
Mhm.
It's really not for us.
What's your suggestion then? Do you think you want to move ahead and try doing something on this, the rest of this phase 3, or do you?
I mean, do you think
We
we
gotta look
could,
into it. I mean,
do you think we could, add this, some steel plating afterward?
I think it could be. Once we get
there,
there.
I guess, worst case scenario, see how it works.
Yeah.
Then you can do it if you have to.
And you could do that too, even if they do come up with these crooks and crannies and it don't work for us. You could do that later, and that's a possibility. I'm not gonna say that. I was just still looking just to do it now instead of
Right.
do it later.
Right, have the right thing
Yeah.
right from the get-go.
Yeah.
I get you.
Because I can see our backhoe coming in from the west end and being able to come down along the side, but like you said, now, if there's all three, if we had 2 bays there full of trash, well, the backhoe may not be able to handle both of them.
Yeah, it won't be able to push.
He should be able to get it, but he should be able to get out and start taking it out to the center.
And what you're getting at is when you're getting ready to finally clean up for the day.
Yeah, that's
What you're talking, I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And, the other ideas, I mean, we went over, we saw some of the stuff that they do for separating and recycling.
Oh, yeah.
And then those tipping dumpsters, like Josh was talking
Yeah.
about.
Mhm.
Where they just click into them with the forks, and then they leave it over and it'll tip and dump, so those are kind of nice maybe to have in those throw-in doors.
Mhm.
That would expedite dumping. But I guess the backhoe would do just as fine,
Yeah.
just dragging it away from there.
Yeah.
I don't know, if you think we need to make a move on it right now, and it can't be done down the road, then.
Let me go down and look at the final print down
I think
there.
that metal could be put in anytime.
I think it could be maybe 2 can, I'm not gonna say it's not.
I think the metal can, if it's gonna be concrete, it's something we gotta do now, because it's
Right.
gonna have to have a thickened slab at least.
Yeah. And all I would change would be, if this south side got those jag outs, I would like to come to the front side of that and make that flush all the way down to.
Oh, yeah.
To the existing one.
Yeah, where the iron,
Yeah.
the building, I mean, it's
Yeah.
gonna bump out, you're
Yeah.
gonna have to have something to deflect that up, or every one of them's gonna be a nook.
And you may not be able to go out here to the 3rd stall because of the slope of maybe the dirt work around it. I don't know how I'm gonna have to ask Cody that. You may not be able to do that, so. But anyway, I think the steel could be added too. I mean, I'm not gonna say it couldn't. It's just one of them things that either pay now or pay later, I think, and I don't know what kind of cost we're looking at. We can't do that. I don't have an idea.
I'm looking for more, what can we save?
Yeah.
Could we save any money by moving that office up there to all that dead space we got on that east side?
I don't see why you couldn't.
Would it be a money saver?
Yeah. Instead of.
You got a lot of space there. It just, I'm sure they'll fill it up, but.
Yeah, just thinking about storage, it'll fill up.
But how are you gonna get into it? I mean,
It's over the top of that.
It's
That's-
cut a hole in the wall.
you'd have to cut a 4-foot spot to get in there, because you can't bring tires in through this way.
No.
I mean, you can bring them around and throw them over the wall in from the inside.
Right.
You can do that, but then you're gonna have to lift them up over that 4-foot wall.
No, that wouldn't be good.
So So it's sort of tough to get to this space right here.
I just kind of shocked at how much space there was there.
Yeah.
But just to me, it seemed like, oh, this is dead space.
Yeah.
Well, I realized at some point in time it's gonna be full of stuff, but
But what I don't want to see is what the current transfer station looks like today. That's got to go. I mean, we can't have behind that wall, we can't have other stuff sitting there.
Mattresses and stuff.
Whatever it may be. I mean, I'm just saying that's got to go in the hole.
Mhm.
It's got to go. We don't want it to look like a
Transfer station.
we want it to look like a transfer station, but we don't want it to look like a storage of dump of trash.
Right.
And it's not a storage of that, unless it's in the center of the floor.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
There's a few odds and ends that are just kind of there. And
Yeah,
so-
yeah.
why get this, get put over to the side?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We already had that issue.
yeah.
I had another concern on
Yeah.
the transfer station. On recycling, could we think about maybe cutting down the hours to like 11 o'clock? Because they're not getting done on Friday, because there's so much regular trash comes in after 1. And there's not much activity from 11 to 1. Everybody's coming, all the cities are dumping early in the morning.
I mean, if Josh was to tell me that that's what he wanted to do, I would totally go with that.
Yeah, I mean, there was a truckload sitting off in the corner, like Randy said, Saturday morning. I got down there early. They just went home Friday night, you know. They didn't get done.
Oh, you mean the truckload was set down in the basement and they had
No,
to change it?
no,
Oh.
it's sitting on the floor at the end of the pit, you know, where they stack
Oh, where they stack, okay, from Friday, I see.
mattresses and
I see.
they pushed up trash.
Where they
and-
dumped it, yeah.
Yeah, they just had so much, and it was after 5 o'clock when they left, they said.
Well,
And I've heard that before, that it's just, it's a long wait on Friday afternoon.
No, I got a lot of faith in Josh and the way he configured things and made things work, and
If he wants to make a recommendation on that, I think we could act on it.
yeah, I don't have any problem with that. I mean, if that's what
It just-
I don't
he
wanna
wants
tell
to do.
him how to run his.
Well, I
Right.
don't either, but I mean, give him approval to change that if he wanted to.
Okay.
Just a comment.
I'll just run down and talk to Cody and see what he thinks, what this kind of deal would be. And if we can put it in steel, do it all the steel at one time, then maybe and get this smooth, but yet, here where these outpits, you're gonna have to throw over that steel to get to it.
Yeah, and then the other thing is, you know, if we tack that on to the contract, they're already concerned about days. So, well, you know, how many, we took 4 days that they wanted off, you know. I think you can it might be best just to let them come back and do it, rather than, I don't know,
I think, you know, like I said, you can always see how things operate with the idea, if it's not looking the way we want it to, we could go back
Okay.
and add that. But
That's good. It's just stuff that I want to bring up. It's better to bring it up and not just, and
Right.
now you've got this building like you're talking about, Kent, out here. That's something that, you couldn't see because they had this metal wall right here but when it's open, you'll be able to see from this corner clear to the scales. Clear out here to the scales, and that's.
he is right there. Come on in here.
You're on fire, Joe.
I'm in the hot seat.
Yeah. You can take the mask off so we can, I mean, if you wanna keep it on, it's up to you. Dave brought up something about,
There's, having recycling shut off at 11 o'clock in the morning, so you get more time for trash, and so you get done.
Yeah.
and if we kinda, I know Kent and I both said, if that was your recommendation, we'd be all for that.
We can.
I don't
No, it's
wanna
okay,
run.
I just noticed,
Let me talk with Hillsborough, because they're bringing in 2 loads a day now, on the Friday mornings for
whatever.
recycling. See what they can do, if they'd be okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't wanna run your operation for you.
No, you know.
That right there, I didn't know there was 2 loads a day.
You're just looking for your
Yeah.
input.
Since the college has started up, they've kind of got a little more recycling from the college.
So it's not much that second load, but they.
Want to get rid of it.
Same truck runs one route, then
Yes.
runs another one?
Yep. And usually he's there pretty early, about 9 o'clock that first load, and then I think by 11 he's there.
Maybe till noon then or something,
Yeah.
instead
So
of 1 o'clock.
well, it's 12:30.
Is
So
that what you-
yeah.
You had something else to bring up?
Yeah. I'd like to do that in executive session, if that's possible.
Well, I think,
Personnel?
is it?
Yes, personal.
Based that it wasn't on the agenda, is it? We're still okay there?
Move to add it to your agenda as an executive session.
Okay.
Purpose.
I'll make a motion to add, in between our slots of commission and an executive session for transfer station personnel items.
Second.
Second by Randy. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
How long? How long?
I haven't went for the executive,
Oh,
just
yeah.
putting it into the agenda. So, aye? 5-0.
We got 5-0.
At this point, I'd like to move in, make a motion that we move into executive session in order to discuss item number 1, personal matters of non-elected personnel. Personnel matter for a matter of
5 minutes.
with the board. Josh, Tina, Brad, pursuant to KSA 75-4319B.
And we need a specific topic. So the personnel matters of non-elected personnel is the reason you're allowed to go into executive session, but we need to know the specific subject. Is it for a personnel performance matter or a?
Personal matters.
Personnel.
Yeah,
it's personnel.
It would be how it would affect somebody's performance of their job duties, potentially?
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
okay, self-performance.
Second, if nobody else does.
All right, Randy seconds. All those in favor? Aye. 5-0. Resume back at 10:57. Gives you a minute or two.
Okay, we'll be back at 10:57.
Shut the door first.
Just 1 second, I'm still got the meeting going.
This conference will now be recorded.
All right, out of executive session, no action taken.
Thanks, Joe.
Thanks, Josh.
Thank you.
All right, moving along here to, I'm not on, so I don't know if everybody's gotten back on or at least okay.
Personnel.
Oh. Yeah. Commission discussion about the county appraisal personnel. Is our next item. I think we ought to, should we go into the exec for a discussion on that, or?
Not if it's just a generic discussion, if it's specifically about an employee.
Well, it will be. I mean, that's something that I put on. I need to give you kind of an update and just go over. Part of it can be an open, but as you all know, today is Lisa's last day, And the board needs to take some sort of an action about either appointing an interim or whether you're going to try to have some sort of an agreement with anyone, or so it would be your discussion could be about hiring, and there are some specific, I do have specific information, employee specific.
Okay.
So your topic, when you go in, you could to discuss hiring, and it could be under that, number 1.
Okay. So I move that we recess into executive session in order to discuss hiring for item number 1, personal matters of non-elected personnel. Or I think we can get it in 5 minutes. 5 minutes with the board, Brad, and Tina, pursuant to KSA 75-4319B.
Before we take the motion and everything, do we have any discussion at all? Public discussion?
Leave my motion on the table until.
Just what I'm asking is, just what Tina said. Does the board feel that they want to go outside and look for, or extend a contract with her to do something? Or does the board feel like they'd like to look at the personnel within first and then do something maybe later?
I think
if we go executive first, then we can come out, because we can't make any decisions anyway, and then we can have the discussion in public.
Okay. Okay.
Was there a second?
No.
Second.
Second. That was, any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
5-0. Matter of 5 minutes, which I'm gonna walk myself on this time, so I don't.
One more.
Yeah, we'll go by.
Matter of 5 minutes, so we'll come back in at 11:08.
I'm okay if we just do the 5 minute, do it like a 1 minute extra.
Okay.
It's 11:07.
11:07. Okay.
Okay, back at 11:07. I can check on that if you.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, out of executive session, no action taken.
Yeah, if we was to do this, make that the last deal of the day, can you go ahead and take public comments in case there is any public? I see a public person sitting here.
Yeah, I'm fine with that too.
Want to just do
Sure.
the same?
Yeah.
That way, they can get on with their day.
Yeah.
That's courtesy. So,
Cherry will let me know here in a sec.
yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and move on, and we'll make at a point that we know if it's yet today.
Okay.
Go ahead and make an amendment to the agenda. So at this point, we're gonna go
Wait,
ahead.
we're not, I'm sorry, I don't have our microphone on. It's on, but then we can hear us. So could you make your announcement again about no action out of executive session?
Out of executive session, no action taken. We may have another agenda item pop up, and if that's the case, we'll make an addenda to the agenda. So at this time, we're gonna move on to public comments. I do not have my screen up, so I don't see anybody there. And if somebody does pop up, if you could let me know.
Okay.
Go ahead. Yeah, it'd probably be best, that way they can hear you on the mic. It's for the people out there, and I don't think they can see you on the screen very well, so. Yeah,
Or
announce who
they
you
can't
are.
see you at all.
You want me to talk or?
Yeah.
No, you take your mask
Go
off
ahead,
so
you-
we can hear you.
Okay. I'm Pat Pelstring from Expedition Wind, Chairman, members of the commission. I'm happy to see you again and let you see me. We've watched you several times over the last several months and tried to stay up to speed. I was down here, I think, for a couple of agenda items and pleased just to be here, I think, more than anything else, now that travel restrictions are easing off and so forth. You'll see more of us. I know Mark gets down here every week. And let me just share a couple things with you. We watch with interest the election results. We read those results as being, I think, pro-development for Marion County. We see that as a positive. We're continuing to work through our process. There are issues associated with attorney-client privilege that I can't share with you currently. And I keep saying soon, but I keep finding that soon isn't always quite what you think it is. We think well, let me just stop right there. I think that's enough. Let me tell you what we are doing. We started a, sorry about my throat, but I think I'm getting old and don't speak enough now, so. We started an RFP process on the construction about 6 weeks ago. We had 7 major contractors from around the country bid on the project. Very pleased with the numbers we got. That supports our decision. We're down to kind of best and final with 2 of those companies. I think when we reach the stage that we can introduce those people to you, you'll be very, very pleased. We've continued in our discussions that we will take an active role on a month-to-month basis to assure that the roads agreement group meets on a regular basis and you're fully apprised of what's going on there. We've had several conversations with the contractor about what their expectations should be, and we put minimum amounts into the contract just to make sure that nobody underbid it. So we think that will serve your interests well. With that, we've wrapped up a process down in Butler County, which, by the way, was approved. The substation down there was approved by the Butler County Planning Commission. That is now in place. We've completed all the right-of-way necessary for that. And we're looking forward very much to getting started as soon as we can, I guess is the best way to put it today. With that, I don't know if you got any questions for me.
I think his presence and what he said kind of settles some of the stuff that was brought up earlier.
I have a lot of questions. When's it starting? I mean, that's
Soon. That's the only answer I can give you today.
That's what I was alluding to.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, so Pat, you've got, what, 4 applications in for construction, don't you? Is it 4?
We have 4 permit applications in, yes.
Yes, okay. For construction?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So that's what I was wondering too, why they haven't been approved. I mean, it goes way off of the articles. I don't understand what the holdup is.
And it's not a holdup. It's, there are certain parts of the application, sound, flicker, those types of things that you really can't evaluate until you've got the whole layout approved. Drainage plans, the SWIFT plan, all of those things. And so if they were to issue it now without, like, the sound analysis that includes all of the other turbines, that will change. So the idea is, let's get all of those approved. We're finishing up all the soils work, working on the permits, rest of the permits for the turbines as we speak. So you'll see those soon, and we'll move forward from that standpoint. So, anything else?
good to see you back again. It's been
Good
a
to
while.
be seen. That's I've enjoyed our time down here. It's been a long, interesting process, and we're anxious to get on with it. So, thank you.
Thank you, Pat.
We're still in public comments, so anybody that's attending virtually, if you have something that you'd like to speak on, please at least comment on the bubble and be sure to call on you. Usually it pulls up pretty fast, so.
In relationship to what you're talking about, what happens if we haven't had it yet, but if a person is unruly on there, on public comment, what is the plan?
You can mute.
Okay, but I'm just saying, I wanted to make sure that we haven't talked about that.
Yeah.
And so that we knew what we could do, what we can't do.
Could bleep them.
Yeah, we can bleep them out.
Well,
so.
you can't bleep them, you can just shut them off.
Okay. Okay, so that was just something
That's a good point, we haven't discussed that, we haven't
Yeah.
talked about it. I guess I just assumed that, and that's not what we should be doing, we should be having a plan.
yeah.
Not see anything on the bubble?
No.
Nope. Okay. Well, I want to go ahead and close public comments. At this time, I'd like to make a addendum to the agenda and include a executive session for the county appraiser personnel. Make that a motion.
Seconded.
Second by Diane. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those abstaining?
I
Oppose?
I'm with you, I'm just,
Aye.
you didn't say time yet, did you?
No,
No,
I'm just
just-
adding it to the agenda.
You're adding to the agenda, okay, yep. Aye.
Didn't ask you.
Okay,
Use
so
a two-step process.
it's been added to the agenda. All right, and at this time, I'll move that we recess into executive session in order to discuss potential hire, I guess, for item number 1, personal matters of non-elected personnel, for a matter of, I'm gonna go 10 minutes this time. With the board, Brad, Tina, Nikki, pursuant to KSA 75-4319B.
Second.
Second by Kent. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 5-0.
Okay, so back at 11:30.
According to our clock.
On the cell phone. It's 11:20 right now, so.
Oh, okay, now.
Yeah. I got 3 different clocks going here. I always gotta look at the cell phone,
Yeah.
because that's what everybody out there is gonna have.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
This conference will now be recorded.
So you can pipe it in here. Out of executive session, no action taken.
Thank you for coming up.
Thank you.
So I'll speak first, okay? My personal opinion is I think we should retain Lisa. It is a common thing, actually, for appraisers to share counties. They're not always on site. I know of several counties who share appraisers, and so therefore you do have a staff that stays actually without one, but they're still accountable. And she's fully experienced, knowledgeable, and practically begged us to allow her to help. And I just think if it's only gonna be for a week, 2 weeks, I don't see that there's anything to be gained.
I don't think we can get the hiring process done unless you do something, you know.
I don't know, she has,
You got other outside
Even that's-
applicants from outside the county.
Yes, at this point we do.
okay, so, even a month, I mean, it's a short period of time. That's just my opinion, that's where I stand.
I would hope that Hive doesn't take over too much if we did an interim to where they could reach out and contact that person for support.
Yeah, I feel we should have an intern person in charge, and Lisa kind of wanted to be on a contract basis as we needed. I mean, she worked on projects, I guess, or by the hour.
Yeah, because she's working full-time.
Yeah, and she's gonna work on our stuff in the evenings.
Right.
So I still think we need an intern, because we're a month away from making a proposal to somebody.
Right.
Do you want to have a discussion with Lisa today?
I think, yes, we need to handle this today.
Yeah, you do need to handle it today, so.
We have to get to a conclusion somewhere. We have to.
Yeah,
Well, why can't we hire an interim? And if we need Lisa to do some of these studies or something, can't we just contract with her?
We can contract with her. and
I
set
mean,
it.
she's already offered.
Right.
Yes,
I mean-
I think you could, you probably need to,
Set a
that's
rate.
why I didn't know if you want to talk to her today, or if you just want to, I mean,
Well, I guess as long as she doesn't go back on what she had told us.
She
before.
sat here and told us twice
Right.
that she would do that.
Well, I wonder if there's a difference, because what she sat here and told us was that she made arrangements with Dickinson County that she would help us out until we find somebody. Now, is there a difference in that, rather than having an interim and then call her a week or two or three or a month down the road and say, hey, we need your help now? Is she allowed then from Dickinson County to just start, well, I mean, I know she's allowed to, surely, but, I mean, is there a difference from what Dickinson?
After hours, what it is, not during hours. I mean, she's their employee.
She said after.
Well, yeah, but I think she also told them that she would be helping us even
Just to be
while
upfront
she's
with
there.
them. That way they know.
Otherwise,
yeah.
why would she have even mentioned it to them, if it wouldn't have affected some of her hours?
I think if you wanted to go that direction where you have her as a contract option, that you probably should visit with her
Yeah, I
and
think
get
we
that
should.
worked out and make some sort of an action.
We need to have her come up now.
It's kind of short notice. I don't know. She's probably not here, is she?
She was here earlier.
Oh, okay.
It's her last day. Stayed till 5.
You want to see if she could come up for a minute or two? I mean, I have some
That's-
questions I'd like to ask her.
Yeah, we'll see if we can have her come up, and I'll go ahead and take a 10-minute recess. Just so-
Well, let me just see, I mean, she might be able to help us out.
See if she's in the building. Don't need a cigarette.
No?
You don't need a cigarette.
I don't?
No, you're fine.
It keeps COVID away. The nicotine does.
Okay, I haven't heard that one.
Yeah. Just made it up.
Just like everybody else.
No, actually, there was some studies drew up in nicotine.
She's on her way up.
All right, so we will not have a recess.
So,
Dave gets his way.
I think it probably, I think that we would visit an executive session first, yeah.
We need the exec.
Yeah, for initial discussion.
That's handy. Doesn't drip all over.
Dries faster, you
Yeah.
gotta rub it on.
So Brad, you drove to California and drove back. So how was that trip? How was the drive?
Long ways home, isn't it?
Big cities you go through or anything, or
Phoenix, Tempe, Albuquerque,
South.
it's pretty big cities?
Yeah.
Hmm.
and some of the, my brother referred to it because I drove it too. That's the most godforsaken wasteland.
Where is that at?
West Texas.
Oh,
Texas.
Yeah, my son is very familiar with Dalhart, those huge cattle lots.
That whole town is surrounded by.
It is, it's just
Totally surrounded.
60-some thousand head.
So that's in one lot. That's not
There's
all the
just
others
one
that are
there.
up there.
That's what for dinner is.
There's
it?
200,000-300,000 head.
There's a 500,000 head around Dalhart. right?
Yeah.
I just want to throw this one thing out, Brad, while we got a minute. We talked to Isaac about the boat dock.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any potential for liquidated damages if they don't get that boat dock to us?
You might have.
Yeah,
Contract and everything.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
it's
yes.
something we'll need to know
Yes.
coming soon. And we've appointed Dave to
They
be your
still
point of
have-
contact. Yeah. No.
Yeah,
So we need
We've
a-
had some red flags.
I didn't wear my mask, I'm sorry.
So, Dave.
Forgot,
your
yeah.
point of
No, I
contact.
did.
Okay.
That's a cheery shirt.
Oh, thanks.
So,
Big audience today, now I am nervous.
same thing again, still potential hire.
We're not
That's the
gonna do
information
terrible.
we should know.
No, go ahead.
Would you do that under contract negotiation?
Mm-hmm. Attorney-client privilege contract negotiations.
So this one, instead of personnel, you do it under,
Attorney-client privilege is your exception purpose of contract negotiations.
So I move that we recess into executive session in order to discuss item number 2, consultation with the attorney-client privilege contract negotiation. For a matter of ten
10 minutes.
10 minutes. With the board, Brad, Tina, Lisa, pursuant to KSA 75-4319B. Second. By Ken. All those in favor?
Aye.
5-0.
okay, back at 11:51.
Okay.
You're gonna get your exercise, fellas.
Guys have any other questions for me, or?
Not at this time. See what the board decides to do.
Okay.
Then
This conference will now be recorded.
Wish you luck, have a good
Thank
time.
you.
Thank you. You guys all take care. It's been a pleasure.
Out of executive session, no action taken.
I think we've got 3 options that we need to look at. Number 1, we advertised, we've got bids or applications back in. We need to look at those, judge those, see what we got. I have no problem with hiring an interim, and sounds like we might have some assistance if we need it. That's 2 options. And the 3rd option is just hire one, or you can make your choice and go with it, I guess. So, but I do think that the first one, we need to look at the applicants at least, see what we got for a field out there.
Don't we need an interim though?
Well, that's what I say, you can hire it right now, and still have.
Yeah.
We gotta give some time for more applicants to come in.
Sure.
We didn't put a deadline, on it, did we?
The letter that we sent out, we did have a deadline on it, which was this last week.
Okay,
But the ad on the appraiser site does not have a deadline.
okay.
And that was just added the middle of the week
Yeah,
last
I need to
week.
cut it
So
off,
you
yeah.
need to have some time for those applications to come in, and we can set a deadline on it if you'd like, but we
And your
have
interim,
not.
you can do that until we decide what we're gonna
Okay, you can
do.
do it for 2 weeks, you can do it for
Yeah.
3 months,
Or whatever.
Right now, I think it's just says open until filled.
Okay.
I will tell you that I like to look within my people. I just heard today, I've got a person with 10 years of experience down there. I've heard that. That's 10 years here, some people might be entitled to, they're entitled to move up if they want to. And so, yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna to see in the applicants either. You know, we're gonna see, like you said, a more qualified person, what we may have already. So that's sort of my feelings right now.
And that's kind of a big thing to consider, what you just said, because if you hire an interim, then you got an increased salary, and then you're gonna pay somebody else for help. You know, so I mean, you have to look at that too.
That all adds together.
Yeah.
Versus a
Versus
qualified
just hiring a
applicant.
qualified person, or sticking with a qualified person, or something like that, till you find a qualified person.
And if you hire with the interim, they've had a chance to take over, and we may be surprised of anybody's abilities.
Yeah.
And just a reminder to speak into your microphones, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
I forget about it's there. I just lean back too much.
I think an interim and working out some contract negotiations to support that, interim
Right.
for the time being, and that only needs to exist until it doesn't.
And I've heard somebody talk about the buck stopping here. Well, it is nice to have somebody there that makes some sort of decisions.
Puts their name on the bottom line.
Yeah. Or their name, whoever.
You know, somebody wants a day off and
Yeah.
you're short-staffed, you might have to tell somebody no.
Could be.
And it'd be hard for Lisa to do from afar.
I go ahead and make the motion to appoint Nikki Reed as our interim in the appraiser's office and work on a contract negotiation for a support staff for her, Lisa.
I don't know that you have to do that right now. Does the rest of the board feel that way right now, that we have to do that?
I don't
To
know
have the
myself.
support staff, I mean, have a contract with negotiations with Lisa, yeah?
She needs to come back to us with a proposal.
Okay.
doesn't she?
So I'm
We
gonna-
just need to appoint
an
an
interim.
intern,
I think that's our mission for today. I don't want it in.
so they can open up.
Withdraw my motion. Make a new motion to appoint Nikki Reed as the interim appraiser.
I would second that.
Okay. Second by Randy. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? All those abstaining?
No, I'm in favor.
Okay,
I was-
5-0.
I was trying to listen with one ear.
Okay. And that would be effective tomorrow morning.
And Tina adjusts the pay grade.
Wait,
We're going to have to address that.
yeah, we'll have to have a clear position to address that and stuff.
I don't know if there's a standard procedure.
I don't know, is there a pay band for that?
It's addressed in the new pay plan that you have not adopted, so
No.
it's just, the board needs to figure out a
Okay.
something fair with her, that she will.
I would like to have the pay scale that the pay that we have right now, plus her pay and stuff, so we can do that next Monday at the meeting. Or do you want to do it yet today?
I don't know if it's fair. I mean, I don't know. If she's okay with it, waiting until next Monday, I would be okay with it.
Yeah, but
Well, we can
she won't
make it
get paid for another
retroactive.
month.
Yeah, we could make it retroactive, right?
It would
Oh,
be,
yeah,
it would be
Yes, it would be,
retroactive.
yeah.
Okay, very good. Then, so we
Yeah.
can wait.
Yeah.
We could take 2 weeks to decide.
Okay. Okay.
I
Then
don't
I'm
know.
okay with that. I just don't want
Yeah.
to
You could-
have somebody in that position and not
Two weeks.
compensate.
Well, she just needs to know that her pay will be retroactive to tomorrow.
Yes, it always has been, we've always done that.
Okay.
And I'd like the board to think about, I mean, if you have a person that we don't know what that other's gonna come out of, but if you do have a person that you're bringing up through, we've always tried making every 6 months or a year some sort of contract. Well, we have to, once we appoint her as an appraiser, we have to make the contract.
Right, the intern doesn't, but
So-
the full-blown appraiser does.
Yeah.
everybody okay with? Tina, can we have that on the agenda next week or following week? With
Next,
the-
I think next, sooner the better.
Okay.
Be Tuesday.
Next. And then, the supporting documentation, so we can know pay scale and what the appraiser makes and suggested in between,
Yep.
that kind of stuff. I normally have some commission comments. Went to public comments and commission comments. Is there any commission comments?
I'd like to have when commissioners, how, if we have a question about an employee and being around, being seen at a certain time in the morning on a non-work day with county vehicle, and how do you want to address that? I mean,
I thought we had policy on
well,
it.
this
They could
this
drive it on a
person,
work day.
and they can, but the person's comment is, there's no storms, there's no nothing, and we know that part of his job, this is talking about Randy Frank, part of his job is accidents with oil, gas leaks, or spills, or anything like that. That could be his job, and he could be out at any time of the day. But the comment is it just looks, why do we have a county vehicle out on a sunny, clear day? And I don't know, it's just a concern that,
I would assume you'd have to get the facts as to why he's out.
well, and that's what I'm saying. If the person's out, and they've checked in, they've called the dispatch that they're on a certain case, that's very easy to find out. But, you know, I mean, that's good enough for me.
Is there a protocol at all? Because, you know, maybe he goes out. Is there anybody, surely Marcy's notified, or somebody's notified that he's somewhere? Because if something, you know, just for insurance purposes or whatever, you know.
I think that's all comes into our policy now since we've got another person in there. I mean, I don't know that the second person would have to be notified, but I mean, we've got a change in staff there a little bit, staffing, so.
I'm just saying, you
The
know.
office is maintained on the weekend though, isn't it?
But
No.
I mean, if the truck's out and it just, God forbid, a wreck, you know, is there anybody that knows that, or is it just up to bypasser to finally realize that, hey, somebody's laying over there in the ditch?
Yeah.
I need to call somebody.
Yeah.
Or is there a protocol that somebody else knows that they're out?
I would think that the protocol would be that the person that goes out in the emergency management position would check in with dispatch, I would think, and just say that I'm out for, if he's out for weather watch, they check in for that.
Right.
If he's out on a spill or accident, they check in for that. And so,
I mean, it's just good policy to let somebody know where you're at.
Yeah.
We do it all the
Marcy's
time.
part-time anyway, so I mean, she's not even there all the time.
she's full-time.
Well, not with Randy, she shares with.
Yeah,
with,
That's
the
10 hours,
nurse.
10 hours a week she's with Dietrich.
But
Yeah,
she's
so
back
she's
in
not
Deidre's
there all the
office or
time.
anything. Well, it's all there together.
It's all together.
Was Randy checking with dispatch?
Well, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I think that would be my
Then
easiest way
somebody
to find out.
ought to ask her.
Well, I think the office should know where he's at.
Yeah.
What office?
Emergency management office.
He's the head of the emergency management
Yes,
office,
but there's
so-
she has help there. He has help
So
there.
what if she's not there that day?
On the-
What if she's not there on the weekend?
Yeah, this is on a weekend.
Yeah, so
This is on a
what-
weekend, and I
what do
just
you-
think that,
The only way he could do is check in with dispatch.
Yeah, and that's-
That'd be the only other
He's
protocol that'd be
got
there.
radio, so
Okay,
they
so-
can find him.
If you're gonna do that then with emergency management, would you also have to do that then with road and bridge? Those trucks are out there all weekend long too, and how do we know what they're doing?
they usually get called out.
Well, we don't know that. I mean, we'd have to check that out every time we see one out there, wouldn't we?
Yeah, this
I mean,
particular
your
question
policy
is
has
about,
to be all the way across the board.
no, this particular person is just interested in why they saw the truck out at 6:37 in the morning on a
So-
Sunday morning.
So Brad, do you think that that's kind of going overboard a little bit? I mean, for just one department to be, I mean, how do you do that, Brad? Hold one, because you got lots of department heads with vehicles, and they're out at different times for different reasons. How do you micromanage them?
I don't know the answer to that one, at the moment. The
Is it out of Marion?
protocol element of it is dependent upon the different job descriptions and the duties of each department as to, for example, law enforcement, you have a very different set of standards as to
Correct.
their 911 check-ins versus what you might or might not do with someone at the transfer station or with emergency management or through the bridge. So the point being, you can have a different standard, but what that standard is and how you put that in place, that requires a little bit of different.
Emergency management could even be called to another county, I mean, through their system of backup and stuff like that. And all we need is documentation that that's what it is. So we can answer the questions. That's all we do. I mean, it's not that tough.
Right. And the point about Road and Bridge is that department's big. So somebody usually knows that somebody else is out.
Not necessarily true. We had a particular employee that was driving the truck home on a regular basis, and that went on for a long time till, I don't even know how long it was.
But somebody knew that they
Until-
went home with that truck.
Well, yeah, but it was not an approved type thing until somebody raised a stick about it, and then of course that was changed. But, see, I don't know. I guess I have really mixed feelings on that, especially with emergency management. It just seems like he's being excessively picked upon. When we have other situations that arise similarly the same.
It's more of,
No,
I look at it
because
more from a liability standpoint.
It's not
Sometimes fire
liability. We have
departments
insurance
have
on him.
training on Saturdays.
But
Yes,
out.
he's out for that,
That's
yes.
fine.
Yeah, but it's something, he checks in, I'm going to anybody for fire training, whatever. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a matter of checking in, is all it is, and knowing.
Yeah, all right.
So I'd just like to know how I can answer that question. If, I don't think the commissioner should just go over and say, well, dispatch, I'd like to know when he was, when he was out. I don't think that's the right way to go about it.
Maybe
We just call saying,
just a log.
Yeah.
You know where Randy's at.
I don't know.
No, I don't think that's the commissioner's job to go there.
I think he's got Marcy, he should just like text her heads up, hey, I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that.
So now you're saying that a department head should get clearance from his employee.
Not get clearance, just, I'm doing this.
And
It's no
you
different.
you also have the issue that Marcy's not exempt from overtime, and so if he's texting her and calling her off hours,
Okay.
that should be counting toward her time worked and paid.
Okay.
She shouldn't,
She's not
so
his
you're getting
keeper.
into more issues with HR than just.
Becomes an
Yeah,
HR
Now,
issue.
the one thing is,
And that knows he
he's
can check
considered, his vehicle is probably considered emergency response vehicle because
Yeah.
you guys decided not to have him continue the mileage logs. And so it could be a separate kind of a process for him because he is considered an emergency vehicle where his protocol should be to check in with dispatch. You could do that. Where Road and Bridge, they do the mileage logs, they're not considered an emergency vehicle. So it wouldn't make sense for them to do that all the time. So, I mean, I think that's the only way you would be able to distinguish it.
And I've had no problem with it, just checking in and let us know what, so he's got a backup that when he called out, that he's out for that reason.
I guess I don't feel like it's a problem to let somebody know where you're at. Just,
No, that's not.
we go out and make sales, or I go do something, I usually notify the office of what I'm doing. Yeah, I don't have to.
You
No.
don't let me know where you're at all the time.
No.
You come in here with all kinds of information.
No, but I let the people, I have the courtesy of the people I work with at the shop to let them know where I'm going. So I don't see it as a problem.
But you don't let them know on Sunday morning that you're going someplace.
I did. I took the trailer from the shop the other day and used it, and I let everybody else know that I was using it. Just so nobody come across here and thought it was stolen.
Somebody else backed up, hooked it up.
Yeah. It's a courtesy thing. And it's also, if I don't come back long enough, you come looking for me.
I just know that we like to answer to the public, and have a good answer for them, no matter what it is in our county. And so that's just a situation that happened, and the person asked about it, and that's all I'm asking about.
had one other question, Brad.
Okay.
Over the last few weeks, I've had several constituents ask me about our county COVID dashboard, of why, if zip codes could be put in there of people that are actually actively infected. I brought the question up to Deidre a week ago, and she said that was up to you. She said it was okay, she'd put it in. And I'm not saying it's right to do that or not right to do that. I'm just bringing the question up because it's been brought up to me.
She hasn't talked about that. I can't think of anything at first blush that creates a barrier to doing that. Because in that instance, it's geographical, and yes, it does identify, but it doesn't identify sufficiently that you're putting someone's privacy at risk. In that case, I can check on that and see to make sure I'm not saying something here that's inappropriate, but I don't know of any reason why you couldn't.
And I'm not saying the commission's in favor of that. I just brought it up.
Whether it's permissible or not. Okay. We'll look and see.
You know, I guess we do 4 people, so they're all from the same area, though, all over the county.
Oh, the new cases?
Yeah.
Yeah, I already said how I feel about it, so I'll just leave it at that, so.
John feels better.
I see another
Issue?
issue that maybe not in our best interest.
Yeah.
I don't have any more comments.
Everybody good? All right, well, thanks for all the in and out today. I appreciate everybody sticking with it. And I will make a motion to adjourn. Second. We got a second by, who wants it?
Dave?
All right. All those in favor? Aye. Aye. Diane? Diane?
Aye. Yes.
Diane's in our own world today,
I
right?
am. I am in my own world.
Catch up on the
Yes.
news, huh?
What's that?
Catch up on the news, huh?
No.
Oh.
I'm checking on you.
The news. Never